Peace, peace, peace. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all already know what time it is. This ain't even a page. Y'all see that mental, astral, etheric, and physical? Y'all see how it say devil and devil? It's a veil over y'all lives. Remember yesterday I was telling you to become the Petruvian man, become the perfect man, become the Pacheridamus. Become the master of your humanity. They telling you to fear the devil, but that's what you is. The devil ain't nothing but your double, your doppelganger. The Egyptians would call this your Ka, your spirit. This is the light that's inside. This is the light that shines from within inside. This is the light of the world. Yet they told you to fear. When we go around and we telling each other, we reflections of each other. The universe is inside of us. Everything is inside of us. We are one another. Everybody's a reflection of the same person or whatever, the same being. We all are the same energy. What is that saying? What is that saying when you have fear of these signs and symbols? That's saying you fear yourself, your own power. You shouldn't be in a state where you fear your own power, bro. The introspection of heaven, the circle, and the man, the square. All these things are important, bro. Beauty, harmony, and introspection of the human and the divine. Wrong picture. Wrong picture. Ooh. Ooh. Wrong picture still. But Baphomet, an occult symbol representing the purification or the perfection of the union of opposites to create divine harmony. They told you to be scared of this. They gave you their interpretation of it, right? This came out in the 1800s. So the man that was writing it, the occultist, the magician, whatever you want to call him or whatever, this was his idea when he wrote up this picture. But this goes back to the Vitruvian man that Da Vinci was drawing up. This is also correlated to the Pacheridamus that was depicted in the Gnostic Bible. This Pacheridamus is talking about your spirit. This Pacheridamus is Adam the stranger, the perfect human. Y'all that brought the demiurge. Where is picture at? Y'all that brought the demiurge said, let us make light. Let us create a human. Come on, let me go to it. So I ain't gotta keep on chit-chat. I'm glad it put me right here. Oh, I'm glad it put me right here. I sure don't want to go look for all this. But here we go. Hold on, give me a second. There's so much information in this book, but it's ain't nothing. There's so much information in this book, but it's ain't nothing. Yardabrow said to the authorities with him, Yardabroth said to the authorities with him, "Come, let us create a human after the image of God, and with the likeness to ourselves, so that this human image may give us light." Yardabroth said to the authorities with him, "Come, let us create a human after the image of God, and with the likeness to ourselves, so that this human image may give us light." When they saw the image of this idea, this forethought, this Prajeradamas or whatever, this world was dark. Bobby Hemming always said this world was dark before we came into this existence. There wasn't no light here. I didn't ever understand what he was saying, so I did my own research. They're talking about this. They say no light here. I didn't ever understand what he was saying, so I did my own research. They're talking about this. They say no light here. I didn't ever understand what he was saying, so I did my own research. They're talking about this. They say no light here. I didn't ever understand what he was saying, so I did my own research. They're talking about this. They say people worship as God. God is God the Father and Barbello, the Mother, Father, Spirit. The Father was surrounded by luminous spiritual waters. He gazed into himself. He gazed into the water and saw his reflection. His reflection became Barbello, the Mother, his female counterpart. Barbello, also called Pranova, was the forethought. Prajeradamas, or the perfect human, or stranger, or Adam the stranger, holy Adam, or old Adam, who came into being and glorified the Father. He was placed in the Aeon of Harmazal. The Aeon of Harmazal is one of the luminaries. The luminaries are produced by the autogenes. The autogenes is you. The Father gazed into Barbello, and she was conceived by him. She gave birth to a spark of light, similar to the Father's light. This was the Son, who was also called autogenes, which is self-created. The autogenes, or the self-created, produced the luminaries, which then produced the Prajeradamas, the atom, your spirit. See, the autogenes is the soul. That's the self-created, the self-created, the self-generated. The spirit would be like what the Egyptians called your ka, or your spirit. Go back to this monster Bible. Back down, back down, back down, back down, back down, back down. Give me a second. I think I skipped it. Through intercourse, the first ruler produced duplicate bodies and blew some of his false spirit into them. The first ruler produced two sons. He called them by the names Cain and Abel, with a view to deceive. He also called them Yahweh and Elohim. Why is all of this important to me? Because of the creator, the first ruler, Yardabroth, the demiurge, the subordinate being to the supreme being, to you. If his idea was to create an image after the image of God, they were talking about us, right? Place that image here. That image was to light up this world. Let's go back into my document, The Grand Revealed, when he's talking about the subconscious mind and the importance of it. All the way down. The subconscious mind is said to create reality by attracting circumstances and situations that match the vibrations of the inner mind. Why is that important? It's important because 10%, who are the 10%? The 10% are the rich, the slave makers of the poor. These are the individuals who will produce these influences, these low vibrational influences that's not aligned with actual nature, not aligned with spirituality, not aligned with the divine law, universal law, which supersedes a contractual law. You feel what I'm saying? They control 85% of the masses. That means 85% of the masses produce the reality that we in. So while y'all the bro said, come let us create a human being after God or whatever, in the likeness of us, so that this human image will give us light. They was talking about this world, giving this world light. But this world is lit up by false light. Because the light projectors, right, are being influenced in a negative way. Everything that you're doing in this world or whatever, everything somebody's telling you about this world and how to live, whatever is going against your nature. That's what the antimonium was. What is an antimonium? First, let me read this. The character of this outright evil demiurge still became more complicated when in some systems he was identified with Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, and was brought into opposition to the Christ of the New Testament. As the demiurge was essentially evil, all his work was evil. In consequence, not only the law of the Jews, but all law was intrinsically evil. The duty of the children of the good God was to find true spirituality by ignoring the supposed moral perception of the demiurge and prove themselves to have transcended any association with the world of matter. This led to the wildest origins of Antimonian Gnosticism. Antimonian is one who takes the principle of salvation by faith and grace to the point of asserting that the saved are not bound to follow the moral law contained in the Ten Commandments. And the Ten Commandments come out of the 42 negative confessions of Mayat. And the 42 negative confessions of Mayat are confessions that you confess to yourself, different aspects of yourself, state that I have not done this. I'm not bound by my physical experience. I'm not bound by what I experienced in the physical realm. Because I didn't have so many different experiences, that's what it's saying. We have to come, we have to embrace this idea while we're here in the physical world, while we're present, while we're having this experience. Because if we hold on to the baggage, then our heart becomes heavier than a feather. And if we take that with us, what do you think is going to happen at the scales? We won't have that balance that they're talking about, or mayat. That's all mayat means. Mayat means balance. So when they wanted to say balance back in the day, all they said was mayat. You got these scales. You're supposed to put your heart on there, and it's going to be a feather on there. Your heart's supposed to weigh as lighter than the feather. That has to do with your experience and everything that you've dealt with. You can deal with it, you can have the experience, but you have to build the mentality to where you become detached from everything. You don't want to become attached to stuff, you will be stuck here. The whole point of Gnosticism, the whole point of them saying that y'all the Broth was an antagonist to those who are truly spiritual is because you come from the non-material realms, or the non-material realities, right? You want to go all the way back there. People now will tell you this is God, that is God, you have to believe in God, yada, 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 right? But what you are and what that being is, the supreme being, the most high, whatever, you are associated with that. This is what all these ancients used to be trying to tell you a long time ago, and they was trying to tell you not to associate yourself with the mundane. What do they mean by that? If the Gnostics said that the demiurge is evil, it's so close to the human creation, you feel what I'm saying? You might as well say it's a human just living on a different plane of existence. They did not explain that. They didn't explain the quote-unquote supreme being, or what they actually call God the Father, the Mother, Father, energy, or the Source. They didn't explain it like that because you couldn't explain it. The human words, the mundane words that you use in this physical experience cannot explain something like that. Something like that is too supreme to have had a hand in creating something so low like this. That was their idea. They practice asceticism. Strict, basically, what is it called? Like fasting from a lot of different things. You feel what I'm saying? Indulging in a whole lot of materialistic things in life. Some of these things you already do in life. You wonder why. You wondering why. Why am I interested in this? Why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Because you possess the divine spark of light. idea or my goal is to show you that you have this light. They say, let me go and get this page right here. The role of the Gnostic savior or revealer is to awaken people who are under the spell of the demiurge. Not as in the case of the Christ of the emergent Orthodox Church to die for the salvation of the people, or to be sacrificed for sins, or to rise from the dead on Easter. The Gnostic revealer discloses knowledge that frees and awakens people and helps them to recall who they are. When enlightened Gnostics can give life and can live an appropriate life for those who know themselves and God. They can return back to the beginning when they were one with God. Such a life transcends what is mundane and mortal in this world. Just saying. We're not dealing with the mundane. We're dealing with beyond this reality. If this reality is an illusion, if this reality is Maya, we want to go beyond it. Why is that so hard to grasp? And don't allow nobody to tell you that's not what you should be doing. Especially if you feel like that's what you should be doing. Don't let nobody try to tell you how to do your spirituality, how to practice your practice. Because spirituality isn't somewhere where you just like, it's not church, it's not religion. You can't go to a church and be like, well, this is what, today, y'all, I'm the pastor, this is what I'm saying, this is my sermon. No, it's not like that. We build. That's why I always be like, man, y'all ain't got no questions, y'all ain't got nothing, you know what I'm saying? If it's negative, I don't care about it. But like, if it's positive, you got questions, or maybe you know something or anything like that, or whatever, you feel what I'm saying, put me on game or something. That's what it's about. Notice how people don't never really talk in church like that. Just a few. And the few that do, it be the same person with the same story every Sunday. Same songs all the time. I mean, that's cool because, like I said, you remember, it's a system and it's been working, or it's been in existence for a long time. So, it's gonna work. Remember what I told you they do this thing for? They do them for to create an identical or parallel universe or whatever, similar to that in an astral plane or whatever. The ancients, every ancient, it don't matter what they was, whether they was dealing in the mundane or the advanced, we knew that this was not the ultimate place to be. So I don't know what's wrong with the modern day. The physical realm, we knew this wasn't a place to be, so we was always trying to advance to the next level. It didn't matter what you believed in. So I just find it funny now. We all about the earth. We all about the earth. We all about the earth. Don't get me wrong. I understand what the earth is, symbolically or whatever. But when you start to recognize and realize what you is on a different level, on a solar level, on a spiritual level, you feel what I'm saying? All that ceases to matter to you. Hold on. Before I do what I'm finna do. Let me read this one more time. This little thing real quick. Is it here? The Gnostic myths describing these events were full of intrinsic nuances and variations portraying the declension of the aspects of the divine into human form. This process occurs through the agency of the demiurge, who, having stolen a portion of power from his mother, Sophia, sets about a work of creation in unconscious imitation of the superior realm. This is where we come from. Thus, Sophia's power becomes enclosed within the forms of humanity, within the material forms of humanity, themselves entrapped within the material universe. The goal of the Gnostic movements was typically the awakening of this divine spark of wisdom, enabling the enlightened soul to return to its superior non-material realities, which were its primal source. We just came here for an experience, man. We ain't come here for nothing else. You want to stay, kick it, play, do all that. We came here for an experience. And the only reason I brought up the false spirits, the duplicate bodies, Because I feel like that correlates a lot to what we're saying right now. We say it's an illusion. We say it's a matrix. We say it's a simulation. Well, in a simulation, in an illusion, in a matrix, or whatever, you have to have NPCs, non-playable characters. This is why I told you that you're the protagonist. A few months ago, I was watching videos and people was talking about, it was like I guess it was like viral or some shit like that or whatever, but they was asking people, do they have inner dialogue? And I was surprised that a lot of people didn't have it. To me, that tells me that people just runs off the code. I don't know if they was trolling or not, but you never know. But when I read this, they say duplicate bodies. It's people walking around in clone bodies, man. With an artificial spirit, bro. It says this. This was written long ago. I ain't write this yesterday. I ain't write it last week. I ain't write it at all. Matter of fact, I picked it up and I read it. And I find it interesting. Because there's a lot of individuals that actually aligns with this energy naturally. You never know. Till you get to talking about this spirituality, till you get to talking about meditation, chakras, and things of that nature, whatever. They shut right down. Why is that? Oh man, who is this? Who are you? No, man, what is wrong with you? Yeah, man. Didn't I say we're not gonna do no negativity? We're not doing no negativity. God is the devil. Because who is God? God, what we associate with God is the demiurge. What's the demiurge? The demiurge, a being responsible for the creation of the universe. In Platonic philosophy, the creator or maker of the world. In Gnosticism and other theological systems, a heavenly being subordinate to the supreme being that is considered to be the controller of the material world and antagonist to all that is purely spiritual. This is not the true God, but this is the one that everybody worships. The true God would be another word like monad, or the one, the invisible spirit. Something that you can't explain with mundane words like I was just saying if you was here. This God is the product of what you call nine ether, the great mother, Sophia. Out of her imbalance, watching all the other aeons around her create everything else around her, she wanted to create something of her own. This is in the Gnostic Bible. And when she thought about creating something of her own, when a desire rose inside of her, right? You had this creation. You had this ugly, misshapen creation. This is what they say. And it ran from her. This is Yaldabaoth. And ran from her in the watery darkness. The watery darkness is here, where we at right now. Yaldabaoth means child of chaos. He also has a name, Sakla, which means fool. And he has another name, Samael, which means blind god. Those are Arabic names. So, yeah, he's the devil. Congratulations on worshiping the devil if that's what you do. Congratulations. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. See, the thing is, right, just because you offended don't make you right. I didn't write this down. I can't rewrite it. You can't rewrite it, and none of that stuff. You just take it and deal with it and find out how you can utilize it. Now, watch this. You don't have to hold this belief. Remember, I told you belief is an assumption. It's to think. It's to assume. I'm not thinking or nothing. When you want to deal with this, you want to deal with knowing. All of that extra shit is out the window. Quiet. Quiet in the back. What's wrong with that man, Joe? Find some business. Find some business. I realized though, people gonna always try to knock you off your square. right? If you allow them to do that, who are you? That just may be their goal. Remember, the archons are rulers. Came in with archon energy. I'm talking about his father God. So I'm a liar. But I didn't write this. In Gnosticism, the archons, Greek for ruler, were malevolent, sadistic beings who controlled the world as well as many of the thoughts and feelings and actions of humans. They assisted their master, the demiurge, with the creation of the world and continued to help him administer his oppressive rule. Frequently used as a title of specific public and office, so it can go either or, as above, so below. You got psychic projections that will go off to try to control your mind in the nature and reality of Earth, right? Maya. Then you have these physical beings, these physical entities or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? Legal, fictitious entities or whatever that want to control your world, that want to control your lives. Why do you think they associate themselves with that? When you put that badge on, when you put that uniform on or whatever, it's like putting a sigil on. You wearing the energy of that. So regardless if you knew it or not, you already aligning yourself up with this. But we're going further, because we talking about the archons. And it's a group, what is it? Sigma, Pi, Phi, I think. I don't know how to say it, but it's the Boule. The Boule just means council. Now, we ain't gonna talk about them just yet, but the term Boulean, I think, it meant council of the chiefs. This like the courthouse, the county, all these different things. All this stuff still exists. All this stuff still exists, and you subconsciously give power to it. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So, even if it wasn't like necessarily the actual uniforms or the actual people that will be in a position of an archon or whatever, it's people that come over, that it's people that walks around the earth that asserts that energy. That's what I'm trying to get at. You have to become unshakable, unbreakable, undominated. Everything they do, everything in this world is designed to hold your power down. Keep it trapped here. You feel what I'm saying? That's going back to your heart being lighter than a feather. Going back to the anti-median Gnosticism. Going against what do you call that? Social morals and social norms. You already got that in your household. You already got that from your family. So society shouldn't tell you that. Shouldn't have to tell you that. They said anti-median says that they don't have to follow the moral law that's contained inside the 10 Commandments. Why? Excuse me. Because those 10 Commandments come out of the 42 negative confessions of Mayat. And then, like I say all the time, it is more of it. But 42 of those things you probably indulged in the entire. You probably indulged in since you've been here in this world right now. And some of those things aren't going to make you feel guilty. I know this for a fact. But some of the things will make you feel guilty. And I know that's based upon what? Religion. And they like to tell you that religion and the state is not the same, but it actually is for real. For all these things are connected. We ain't got to go too deep into it. We know it's connected. So because it's connected, you have to become completely against that. You feel what I'm saying? What is his name? H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft was talking about these great old ones. They were supposed to come back and basically take over the world, take over the earth or whatever. These scientists and whatever, you feel what I'm saying? Government, I don't know. When they looked into these books, they interpret that as real. This is why they depict the apocalypse and the rapture and all these things as a cataclysmic situation. But remember what apocalypse means. It means to uncover. So this is why this is what really sparked it for me a long time ago. When I read that apocalypse means to uncover, revelation means to reveal. I'm like, oh man, we are in the age of Aquarius, where information is everywhere. Everything is being revealed to you. It's the revelations. You feel what I'm saying? That's what sparked all this for me. And then I understood that my body, the physical body, is synonymous with the earth. The word Adam, Adamus, means ground or earth. Clay, red clay. All of these things means Adam. They're talking about your body when they say that, right? So my physical body, right, it's synonymous with the earth. Remember I told you when you bleed from here, you gotta get your body back to the earth. It goes back. Whatever you want to do with it, but you know, most of the time you don't get buried. So it goes back. You got a connection both ways to this place. You got an earthly and you got a spiritual. Your main objective is to focus on your spiritual. By focusing on your spiritual, your physical life will get better. It's a side effect to that. So, back to these archives and these duplicate bodies and all of these things. The fight is not, it's not a fight. You see, when I come out and I'm saying all these things, I hope don't nobody think that I'm trying to say, hey man, we gotta something, we finna link up in the spirit realm, or we finna get out here and then we ain't finna do none of that. Go inside of yourself. Go inside yourself and become aligned. Right? Why do I say that? Because they say it's as above, so below. The below aspect would be these archons, what you call God. That's dealing with the earthly world. You want to deal with your inner world. Your inner world is actually your higher world. Everything is going on in there. It's the holograph, the whole writing. So you can get the whole scripture for going inside of yourself. Right? The hologram is the light that's being projected out. That's the 3D universe. Hold on. I'm gonna read this out of the ISIS thesis. Watch, I ain't on the page. I knew it. That's because I had something else here for y'all. But hold on. Oh, it just popped on it. Okay, our universe then may be a hologram. It's in the material world. Upside down equals space-time material world of living humans. Our universe then may be a hologram or invertible reflection of the quantum world. In calligraphy, every part of the writing contains information about the whole. The hologram would then be the material representation of the whole writing or holograph. It says that is a three-dimensional image or information about the holograph is recorded. That's here. When our world or hologram is illuminated, what emerges is a 3D picture that enfolds the whole image in each of its parts. So if it's cut into pieces, each piece will still contain the whole. The C states, this is you, this is Osiris. It says, I am Ra, I am the Two, I am the Lord of everlasting. I am the being which unfolds eternally. So Atum, in his quantum world, as the sun god, as the eye of generation, now becomes the light from within that illuminates our 3D material world or hologram. Remember, Osiris is your subconscious mind. Yes, it just said Atum and all these other things. Why did it say that? Because you're all of these things. This is talking about the journey of Osiris in the Duat. When he goes through his transformation process, you know, Osiris is the first mummy. He's the first representation of we just gonna say crucifixion and resurrection. The first representation of that. Not his son, which is actually where you will get Jesus Christ from, Horus. In the original Nag Hammadi library, it said Horus Christ in there before they changed it up in 1945 when they found it. In Nag Hammadi, Egypt. By some farmer, his name Muhammad something. But they switched it up. They didn't have enough time to switch up everything. But even still, Osiris represents going through a transformation process, metamorphosis, right? He was chopped up into 14 different pieces. He represents your mind, your subconscious mind. Go back to those pictures I just dropped on my page yesterday actually. Let's talk about the Ori, talk about the head, the consciousness, the soul. So if it's cut up into different pieces, think about the hologram is cut up. All these pieces hold information, yes. But to get a clear view picture of everything, right, you want to put it all together. They say your subconscious mind is cut up into 14 different pieces because that's Osiris. But you experience those different pieces. Like 360 say, you're schizophrenic. You experience those things in the 3D realm. Put them together in your dream state. Put them together in your underworld. Align yourself with all these different realities that you exist in. That's what I'm saying. Now let's go back. It just said a tomb illuminates our 3D world or the hologram. A tomb is whom? Adam. And I just said he was the light of the world. Yahweh said what? Let us create a human, and this human will be what? This human image will give us light. They're not talking about nobody else but you. I don't see no Adams. I don't see no tombs. I don't see no Osirises. I don't see none of that around here but you. You the one that's giving the light to the world. You the one that's walking around here, you getting influenced by whatever, influencing yourself, that's what you should be doing or whatever, but you were bringing the light out and it's producing this world. So the light from within is producing this world. They got something called the devil get behind me, Satan get behind me, or in Egyptian text they call it Horus Set. This is Horus, right? Or this is Horus, the third eye. Then you got something called your medulla oblongata, right? This is where the most primal part of energy is. And when it's crystallized, it comes out in the form of light by way of your pineal gland. But that's Set. That's the devil get behind me. Remember, Set is the he's the what do you call that? He's where they get the devil from. He's who they created the devil after. Actually, the pre-dynastic Egyptians, what you would call later day Etruscans, the Trojans, right? Before they were kicked out of Egypt or ran out of Egypt or whatever, they had a priesthood where they worshiped Set. And when the members passed away, they chopped their bodies up into 14 different pieces. When Ra came into the picture, because you know Ra's whole story was he rose out of the mountains and yada yada yada, come to earth and all that shit. But if you got the story of Set first with the pre-dynastic Egyptians, that would state that we was already here. So this is going into the this is going into the Necronomicon and the Greek myth. You'd be like, oh, but that's a Greek myth, that's later on. But remember, I told you, the pre-dynastic Egyptians. The pre-dynastic Egyptians is the one who created the Greek mythology. They are the Etruscans. Look up Etruscans. Look up Etruscan mythology. Look up Roman mythology. And look up Greek mythology. All of it's the same. The Etruscans is who formed Italy. That's where they went to when they got kicked out of Egypt. No. This is where things get Hellenized and all that stuff, whatever, because Greece was hell and all these things. That really made me just forget what I was going to say. I ain't even gonna lie. It don't matter. The Etruscans, man. They was the original ones that was worshiping them. Oh yeah. When Ra came in, he came in and basically destroyed everything and switched everything around. This is y'all's world. In the Necronomicon, you see it says we have Tiamat, or they will call it Tai-Earth in the Egyptian text. That would represent Earth. And then they talk about these reptilian beings. Everybody don't like the reptilian beings or whatever, but your medulla oblongata, that's your primal brain. That's your reptilian brain. Every organism here has a reptilian brain. That's your first brain. All your instincts in. Connected to your subconscious. This is why I'm heavy on it. He came here, he did all of that or whatever, and created this world. That's why it says the demiurge being. So when he done that, everything else, every religion after that becomes old, becomes Hellenized. Greek, the old name for Greek, the original name for Greek was Hellas, or Hell. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it means the old knowledge, the old understanding, the old teaching, the ancient. That's all that really means. Now we get down to the meats and potatoes. What is this? This better be 360. Dude, who are you? No, man. But yeah. After Ra came about, like the new priest that stuck around, because some priests stuck around for the pre-dynastic period. They had to write the new religion. They still kept Seth or Set or Sut, Suteh inside of the religion. This is why Set is everywhere. Later day they created Satan. But when you go to the old Egyptian hieroglyphics or anything like that, the ancient times, we never had a devil. You never find the word devil. You never see that. We had tricksters. A trickster is a being that is really self-explanatory, but it's to teach you a lesson. Legba, Papa Legba, and Legba, he's one of them. Right? His colors are red and black. He represents the crossroads. He also represents the doors, getting you through doors. This is where the trick comes from. It's a story about Legba walking down this town, like a little street in town. And he has his hat on. And on one side is red and on one side is black. As he's walking through this town, he just walked through. One side, they say his hat is red. The other side, they say his hat is black. They argue. They finna fight. They start to fight. He come back and he ridiculed. Both sides was right. Right? But yet and still, they fought. So he taught them that two sides can have an opposing idea and still coexist at the same exact time. How is that a devil? They still call him the devil. He's giving you life lessons for real. When you're a child, you're not going to agree on everything. You're going to want it your way all the time or whatever. And if you get your way all the time or whatever, you become what? Spoiled. When you're a man or you're a woman and you go through too many different bogus relationships and you become damaged, whatever, you spoil goods. Don't nobody want you. Unless you go through life and learn from the lessons that you experience, because that's what experience is. It's a lesson. When you can learn from it and take from it, right? And when it comes up again, because we are living in cycles, you know how to maneuver around it. This is how you beat the law of rhythm. Because nobody's supposed to be able to beat the law of rhythm. Everybody's supposed to get caught in the pendulum. When the pendulum is swinging right, that means you swinging right with it or you just get knocked over. If it's swinging left, it's the same thing. So how do you be able to maneuver out of that? By being able to place yourself in a different reality. How do you place yourself in a different reality? Once you go inside of yourself and align yourself with whatever it is that you want, you can produce that reality just by visualizing, just by opening your eyes. You're going to have to do a lot of meditation. You're going to have to go inside of yourself and do a lot of healing, a lot of alignments, a lot of unblocking of the chakras, things of that nature. But your subconscious mind forms the reality around you, so everything that you're dealing with, listen to me, everything that you deal with will start to form around you. You just have to deal with it. Being attracted to this stuff and liking this stuff and listening to it here and there, just listening to it, ain't nothing. You gotta really deal with it. Dig deep into yourself and understand your power, your ashe. All these things associated with you, but it won't never even matter if you're not dealing with it personally. That's Tage Christ. Peace, peace, peace to the fam. Yeah, though, man. It's not gonna work. I ain't gonna lie to you. A book ain't gonna work, none of that stuff. You gotta go inside of yourself. You gotta develop your own methods, your own practices. Why am I saying this? And I can say this with good faith. Because if you trust the book, right, and we do have great sources when it comes to that, and we do have some that's going to lead you in another direction. I would call it trick knowledge. 120 degrees of knowledge. Trick knowledge. We can get into that. But we ain't with all of that. Once you align yourself with the proper knowledge, the right knowledge, people got their own definition of it. I'm gonna keep in mind. My definition of it is whatever resonates with you that you can take that works with you, and you find something inside of yourself with that. So they may say, sit down, crisscross applesauce or whatever. Think about this little object and count this many times or whatever, and this might open up your pineal. This person might say, stand on your head, do a handstand or whatever for about an hour, and this might do it or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? And you say, all I did was look in the mirror, stare at my pineal gland or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? And it just opened up. Something simple like that. You got to do what works for you. And then you convincing yourself. First thing we do when you have these experiences, oh man, I just did that, just did this, just did that. No, it's an investigation, it's a study, right? So you investigate yourself, you study yourself. You got to record, you got to document, and you got to do further research, meaning I had this experience. First thing I'm gonna do is tell somebody, no, I gotta know if it's actually real, if I'm actually doing this for real. You gotta convince yourself. You have to make a subconscious impact on your mind and on your heart. I created a meditation. I told y'all about it, right? And I just did it randomly. But I started to feel certain things in it. My crown chakra was expanding. I never felt this before in meditation, so this was different for me. My crown chakra started expanding. At first, when I started doing it, my third eye was supposed to say, that's nothing. I felt that before. But my crown chakra, that was different for me. And then I just started getting a lot of focus, a lot of knowledge, a lot of stuff was coming in, like, and I'm noticing it. You get what I'm saying? Because I be aware. So, but the first time I did it, I didn't tell nobody about it. I had to do it again and again to make sure that it's real, that it's right and exact. You feel what I'm saying? And it's actually working. Sometimes we can want something so much or whatever that we can convince ourselves and it's not even working for us. It works like that with spirituality too. Just because we claim to be doing something spiritual don't mean that our ego can't be involved. Your ego is always involved trying to block you out. When I first got into this, I was trying to do something called an ego death. Now, they say ego denial. You deny your ego, deny the flesh, asceticism, fast, draw back from certain material activities, earthly activities. Don't watch no TV for a second. Don't talk to people for a second. Get off your phone for a second. Read a book. Don't eat. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Retain your energy, you know what I mean? Read a book. Don't eat. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Retain your energy, you know what I mean? Read a book. Don't eat. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Retain like that. Just to see. You testing yourself out, man. And all these things are key. Some keys you play roles in your spiritual life and in your path. Change your energy, you know what I mean? Do things like that. Just to see. You testing yourself out, man. And all these things are key. Some keys you play roles in your spiritual life and in your path. Change your energy, you know what I mean? Do things like that. Just to see. You testing yourself out, man. And all these things are key. Some keys you play roles in your spiritual life and in your path. Change your energy, you know what I mean? Do things like that. Just to see. You testing yourself out, man. And all these things are key. Some keys you play roles in your spiritual life and in your path. That's all I'm saying, y'all. But what's that word though, man? How y'all feeling, man? We've been building for a little second, not for too long. I don't think. I don't even know. I don't. How 360 be figuring out how long he be up here? I don't even know, man. But yeah, man, we ain't got no questions, man. What's going on? Like, ask me some questions. And then, I think I forgot who I told. I told somebody to hit me up or whatever. They had some type of question or whatever. So if you in here right now, hit me up. If I tell you to hit me up, man. You feel what I'm saying? It's up to you. It's your life. Man, I appreciate you coming in. I ain't gonna lie to you. What we discussed. Let me go back. We discussed this right here. Dang, where'd that little picture go? Oh, this ain't the one. It's gonna take me a while to maneuver in this. I just got these little pictures. Yeah, right where it say that mental, astral, and etherical and spiritual. It say devil and it say devil, but we have a veil over our eye. And our eye, that's our third eye. Right? If I can get it real close. That right there. You see the mechanism of the eye, or what they call the eye of Horus, all those different symbols and what they represent in the different senses. This is why it's important, imperative for you to open up your third eye. And why is this associated with the Baphomet? Because the Baphomet represent balance. In the 1800s, magician Elvis Levi interpreted Baphomet as an occult symbol representing perfection or the union of opposites to create divine harmony. Vitruvian man, the perfect man, right? Then we got Adam, the Pajeridamus, the perfect human. So it's essentially the same thing, possessing both principles of this side of your being. And while you think it's your physical being, it's not. This physical being is a prison. It's a prison because the demiurge stole some power from his mother, who was the demiurge. The demiurge in Gnosticism and other theological systems, a heavenly being subordinate to the supreme being that is considered to be the controller of the material world and the antagonist to all that is spiritual. The Gnostic creation myths describing these events are full of intrinsic nuances and variations portraying the declension of aspects of the divine into human form. This process occurs through the agency of the demiurge, who, having stolen a portion of power from his mother, sets about a work of creation in unconscious imitation of the superior realm. Thus, Sophia's power becomes enclosed within the material forms of humanity, themselves entrapped within the material universe. The goal of the Gnostic movements was typically to awaken this divine spark of wisdom, enabling the enlightened soul to return to the superior non-material realms, which were its primal source. Right? Yaldabaoth defiles Eve. Yaldabaoth produced two sons. He calls them Cain and Abel. Also, Elohim and Yahweh. The first ruler produced two duplicate bodies and blew some of his false spirit into them. These beings were like the first rulers on earth physically, meaning it's beings that possess this false spirit, right, that would think they rule over the earth, they rule over you. So they go about to title themselves with, I'm a judge, a police officer, I'm this, I'm that, and the third. Something with authority over you, something that has jurisdiction over you. But you're supposed to be the God. They told you to fear things like the Baphomet because of what it represents. And we just took it all the way from the Bajaridamas, the Vitruvian man, Adam Kadam, all these different things to let you know this was you. Yaldabaoth said, come let us create a human being after God and after the likeness of us, or from the likeness of us, something like that. He said, this human being will give us life. Right? The archons are there. They rulers. Malevolent, sadistic rulers or whatever. Controllers of the earth. Feelings and emotions of the humans. Okay, cool. Who are the 10%? The bloodsuckers, the rich, the bloodsuckers, the slave makers, the rich, the ones who give lives to the poor. Right? Who are 85%? The deaf-dumb blind, basically. 10% influence the deaf-dumb blind. In turn, the deaf-dumb blind produces the reality around us. Why do they produce the reality around us? The subconscious mind is said to create the reality by attracting circumstances and situations that match the vibrations of the inner mind. So they give us subliminals and things of that nature. And we produce a reality around us. What do you associate medicine with? In health. The hospital, right? The caduceus. When you see that, that automatically means I'm finna go get healthy. Who is the father of medicine? Right? It's not Hippocrates. Like, oh, but it is Hippocrates. But it ain't. Why it ain't? Imhotep is considered to have practiced medicine and have written about it 2,200 years before Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine. He created a practice in order to diagnose diseases and treat them. And he helped his patients deal with issues like arthritis, gout, and tuberculosis. Egyptians had an early form of surgery which is thought to have been developed by Imhotep. Imhotep was a vizier. to the third dynastic king in Egypt, like an advisor, a mathematician, and an architect, responsible for the step pyramid. But why is he important in what I'm talking about right now with the subliminals? Because he's associated with Jehudi, or Tahuti, or Thoth, or Hermes. And what's the caduceus? It's the staff of Hermes, or Jehudi. But medicine. So it does have a meaning behind that. But when you go to Big Pharma, you know we not rocking with Big Pharma. You feel what I'm saying? And they know we not rocking with Big Pharma. But they put our symbolism up there so we can go there with it. So we can go to it. And the feeling that we produce into this reality about it, because we already have this association with it. Also, we already know what this means because we can heal ourselves. Going back to Baphomet, we have, what's that word? When you're looking at them, you just put them up. I might as well just put them up again. Is it right here? Yeah. Right there, you see the staff of, or the caduceus, the staff of Tahuti right there in the stomach. That symbol represents your Dajjal pillar, or the spine of Osiris. Those wings represent you, because you're the original angel, the angle of light, the true angle of light. That's what your soul is. Feel what I'm saying? Those horns represent fertility. Anytime you see some horns, it represents fertility. Fruitful. Because the crown chakra has 1,000 lotus petals on it. What those 1,000 lotus petals represent? Let's go to, what do you call that? The Necronomicon, things of that nature. You have this deity, this goddess called Shub Niggurath, goat of 1,000 young, who represents the crown chakra. Goat of 1,000 young. Baphomet is a goat. You were supposed to master your personal humanity. And the way you go about mastering your personal humanity is healing your inner child. The other day we was talking about it, or was it earlier? Don't know, don't care. But we was talking about how you had this monster, it played on their trauma, right? And they left. Forgot it for a little second. When they came back, they had to face that. Every last one of those individuals in that movie had to go back inside of their memories and face their trauma. And when they did, they was able to overcome that fear. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go a little bit further, because we were just talking about this. 360 always talks about this web. It's upon the web. We always stuck on this web. That's fine. In the end of the movie, when they got him to show his true form, he was an actual spider. He had the dead lights. When you eat, you are what you eat. You are what you read. You are what you overcome. You take it, you consume it, and you can use it for your will. So when they destroyed it, It became the spider that weaves the web whenever you go wherever you want. In life, basically. Life is not made for you to go wherever you want. Everything is cut off, sectioned off. You have to have a license to do this, a permit to do that. You can't go here, you can't go there. You have to have certifications, all types of stuff. Right? But remember, we're supposed to be having an experience. So if you have to have all these licenses and all these things, that's a certain hindrance. It's me that's coming from an authority figure, which don't need to exist for me. So going back to the archons, how they control the world or whatever, right? And excuse me, it's 85% of the people that produces a false light, basically. And this is the reality that we live in. You have to go inside of yourself and align yourself. If we live in this reality, and it's produced by this 85%, What does that say about yourself? What are you producing? You're not even supposed to see this. Like, you see it, but it's not supposed to be able to, what's that word? Affect your emotions. When it doesn't affect your emotions enough to a certain point, it ceases to exist to you. It ceases to exist in your reality. But you still want to worry about it. If you still want to worry about it, you're going to bring yourself closer to it. And the problems that you feel like you have, whatever, they're gonna keep on existing, basically. We're trying to get rid of that. We're trying to show ourselves how we can create our own reality around us, and it's just as easy as going to sleep. That's what I'm getting at. The hard part is facing ourselves. Accepting ourselves for who we is, and facing ourselves, and embracing ourselves, loving ourselves, becoming intimate with ourselves, and learning ourselves. That's the hardest part. We're going to learn about everything else. But we don't want to go that route when it comes to ourselves. But that shadow work is what you got to do. We can talk about God. We can talk about intergalactic beings. We can talk about meditation. We can talk about all this stuff or whatever, right? But what are you doing for yourself? We can say, I'm studying this, I'm reading this, I'm doing that, That could be a distraction. Remember, I told you we could be filling it up for the ego. The ego is always there. The ego, like, yeah, I want to learn this too. Because the ego don't want to go nowhere. That's why you have to have an ego death. The ego is the part of yourself it's the part of yourself that gives you your sense of self. But 360 always says I. And in the definition, I comes up. So, I can say a lot of things. I'm this. I'm a father. I'm a writer. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. But I say no. I am that I am. That means everything. Once you get caught up into all these different schools and all these different things, you become sectarian. It's this or nothing. I'm Christian. I ain't no Muslim. It's this or nothing. You get what I'm saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. I study everything. I'm not in it to do all that. You want to master the world, you'll be here forever. Because it's an endless cycle. You're supposed to master yourself. You got cycles around yourself. That's probably out of balance. Probably finna get up off here in a second, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, y'all. Cause I gotta work out. What time is it? It's 8. Yeah, bro, I gotta work out, man. I ain't even finna have no energy. And I need to do that. I ain't gonna lie to you. See? Gotta take care of yourself. Important, man. I've been up since like, I don't know, 4 maybe? 5? Yeah, 4 probably. 4 something. I did want to be able to motivate myself, but I still gotta take care of myself. See, I call myself trying to get on live, come on here, trying to share my experience or whatever, and forget I got a life. No, man, I still gotta get up and work out every day like I do. You know what I'm saying? I still gotta take care of myself. Eat. I don't be eating. You feel what I'm saying? So you gotta think. A person get up here, be teaching you whatever, you feel what I'm saying? Think about what they be going through. I ain't lying. This all I do though. Some days I won't even leave. I just stay in all day, reading. And I probably I won't even get on live, but I just be reading all day long. I'm that dedicated to the knowledge. I'm not telling you to be that dedicated to the knowledge. I'm telling you to be that dedicated to yourself. Eventually, that's gonna be me. You probably never see me again. That's the goal. Right, nigga. You transcend it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's got a out of here. You no longer here no more. That's why I want to get said about me. I don't like to. I don't want to be around. Ain't no sense in kicking it. Ain't no sense in kicking it. If it's a cycle, all these things are going to happen again. Before I go, I don't know if y'all caught it, but earlier I told y'all about the law of rhythm and how we get up out of that by causing ourselves to go into a different reality. You know what I'm what I'm saying? Just the alternate reality. Alternate realities is not really different reality. It's just an alternate reality. It's slightly different from the next one. You get what I'm saying? So, but the law of rhythm and all these things, this stuff gonna continue to happen. You gotta, like I said, you have to find a way how to get up out of it. You really just made me lose my train of thought. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not y'all. I made myself lose it. I ain't gonna lie. If it come back to me to do it, I don't care. Gotta do these push-ups. Abs, my side hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. Story of my life. Story of my life, man. Damn, I gotta go to the gas station. I really don't even leave. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I don't know. Oh shit. Taste Christ. We gotta do some music together though, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. We gotta do something. I gotta sing you some shit. I want you to check it out. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think you might like it. But I want to talk about positive things in my music. I was not talking about positive things in my music. And I don't want to drop no music and then people be like, how you spiritual and you talk about all this stuff? Well, I did have a life before this. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't always like this. I happened to go somewhere and it set me down for a second and I learned about myself. But people be judging and not knowing that, you know what I'm saying, people just have a life. They just expect you to just be like this your whole life, which I feel like I was. But I feel like when you start thinking like that, you just get to a certain level where you can just really look at all of the spiritual instances on your life. So it's not necessarily like you've been like that all your life per se, not at least not with me. But I'm able to look at everything in my life spiritually. Now I did have some spiritual moments in my life, like spirits used to definitely talk to me and things like that or whatever. I never used to answer them, not like that because, well, I did. But I learned later on in life you wasn't supposed to answer that. Like spirits come to talk to you in your relatives' voices and stuff like that or whatever. You're not supposed to answer things like that. I didn't know that. And it open up doors for certain things or whatever. When I was a kid, I saw this dog. When I'm saying I saw this dog, I saw like a real dog. And what I mean by a dog, I'm talking about like a hellhound or some shit. This shit was huge, like almost 6 feet tall type shit. You feel what I'm saying? I forgot how old I was, but I think it had like 3 heads. And I ran up out the room, but I don't know why. I don't know what that meant. But I was a kid, and I never really told nobody these things or whatever. Because being black, growing up in the hood, you don't talk about these things. Your people to put you up, and I just shut it down. You feel what I'm saying? I shut it down, and the experiences, they kind of like stopped or whatever. But I also experienced like astral projecting. What they call not first sight, but they call it real time sight. It's basically when you can basically see beyond your what they call it, your eyelids or whatever. I used to be laying down in the bed in jail with the cover over my head when I just wake up. But this is a thing that they tell you to do, like when you just wake up, Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce. When you just waking up, they say it's a state that your mind is in, whatever. But they said just to sit there and just visualize and look up at your pineal gland. So I didn't know nothing about no pineal gland. When I was locked up, I was like 14 years old. But for whatever reason, I was laying down there and I saw like the ceiling, but I knew my eyes was closed. So every day for months, I was trying to do that again. I'd done it a few times after that or whatever, but I never knew what that was until later on I became spiritual. So it was a lot of things I was doing and getting into or whatever. I didn't even know what was going on. So yeah, you can say I have been, but not necessarily consciously. You feel what I'm saying? I was never consciously conscious or spiritual or whatever. So, but I feel like it was gonna happen. It was meant to happen anyways. I love this shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit my life. This shit make me cry. I ain't gonna lie to you. Fucking nobody said. This shit empower me. You feel me? I'm trying to tell you. I be looking back at people. People don't be having no power, man. And it's not a thing to be like, oh man, you weak or anything like that or whatever. But shit, if you don't control yourself, you weak to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Feel what I'm saying? And once you can just gain the mentality of, Joe, I'm in control of my life or whatever. That's all you pretty much need, because nobody has all the answers. But I just feel like everybody deserves a chance to be able to have that experience, to be able to have that God mentality. You feel what I'm saying? If we possess these things in our body, and our body is this thing to give us this experience or whatever, we have these chakras, this kundalini, all this stuff or whatever, right? Then I feel like we deserve that experience. You feel what I'm talking about? But you know, it's forces that go against that. I ain't with all that. But they were saying, and my document was saying, 10% controls the minds of 85%. Okay, I know they produce this reality, but I can produce my own reality. I can see myself out of that. I can see them out of that. I don't have to deal with that. And I know that to be a fact, because when I stop thinking about certain things, when I stop paying attention to certain things, you know, we can see it. You get on your phone or something, but when you scroll past it, when you become detached and not interested no more or whatever, it starts to shed from your life. That's a death in your life, and a rebirth of a new consciousness, a new way of thinking, a new perspective. You feel what I'm saying? So we go through this all the time. We should. And that's where true change comes in, or true evolution. Because the word change, you know, and evolution should be synonymous, because change runs supreme in chaos. And when we think about evolution, we think about God said, let there be light, then the humans, and then all that. That's not evolution, that's cycle. That's creation. You feel what I'm saying? That's light. Nothing is never changing in these in these cycles. The only time something changes is a mutation. That's a natural change in nature. But it does not happen all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Now you understand not melanin, but alchemy, when they talking about transmutation of the energy. You feel what I'm saying? Take the energy of the essence of this iron or whatever, and turn it into gold. Transmutation. Mutation is something natural, but like I said, it doesn't happen all the time. So what we doing is a conscious transmutation. We accumulating so much knowledge. This is what Typhonianism is about. Typhonianism. Hold on, let me get the book. I'm talking about this. Oh, here it goes. Sekhem Apep. Typhonian Vampiric Magic. Ooh, don't be scared. By Michael W. Ford. Don't think I'm talking about anything like that. This talks about the consumption of the gods. And when I say gods, I'm talking about the energy signatures, the goddesses, things of that nature or whatever. So to me, essentially, it was the same thing, because I understood when I first came into spirituality, you're supposed to become these beings. So you do something called evocation, not evocation, which would be to summon the spirit to talk to them. You invoke them because they exist inside of you. So you bring upon the consciousness inside of you. It's like you altering your mind. It's like a possession. Think about it like this: when you in church and you ever seen somebody get the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit, it's the same thing, but they got a method to calm it down. That's why they do what they do. That's real. But in Ifa or the Voodoo tradition, Santeria, things like that or whatever, they got something called riding. The spirits rides the individuals. They mount them. As a matter of fact, that's the word. They mount them. So, you know, they go through these little ceremonies or whatever, with the candles and the dances and the liquor and all these things of that nature or whatever, the offerings, they call into the spirits or whatever. They have a specific individual in the spirit mounts them. Next thing you know, the voice change, the individual starts to look different, talking different, all types of stuff. They just come in and ask the person or the spirit questions, because the spirit is coming and talking through them. Now they doing that. That's kind of like an evocation. You feel what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's some of them asking the question is for like a group setting. You want to do invocation. You personally dealing with these spirits. This is what I'm talking about. That was that. Now going back to this Typhonianism. This is the consumption of the gods, basically. So all of these symbols and all these gods or whatever, what they're saying is to absorb. Theory and practice, eating souls and absorbing the gods. The Black Order of the Dragon holds the foundation of the vampiric magic and the primeval foundation from ancient cultures, especially Egypt and the Babylonian Chaldean lore. The essence of vampirism is found in the absorption of the energy of the gods to allow the self to ascend and progress into something more powerful. With the foundation point of power, the aim in such ancient religions is to extend conscious existence or the essential self beyond the physical world. We ain't trying to take no energy from nobody else but these energy signatures that already exist inside of us. So you activate them, you bring life to them. You ever heard of something called necromancy? Black magic, black, mancy, magic. When the Greeks saw what the Egyptians were doing, they said they were practicing necromancy, black magic, because they were venerating their ancestors, their ancestral spirits. They were tapping into them, and these were dead spirits, and they were bringing light to them or whatever, and they were actually raising the dead or whatever, so they could communicate with them. Everything that you deal with as spiritual is a sort of necromancy, because you're dealing with the unseen realm, and it was dead to you for a time because you had no knowledge of it. That means it didn't really exist. So when you pour light into this, just like you pour light into the world or whatever, right, you activate it in a certain way. But see, nobody is dealing with this, nobody is paying attention to this, nobody is experiencing this but you. So it's only empowering you, it's only affecting you. This is the key here. So this is why you're supposed to gain a perspective on all of these different, your own perspective on all these different energy signatures. Correlate them with their respective counterparts in the various different cultures or whatever. Because while they will mean the same thing, what you will find is a slightly different or added attribute. You feel what I'm saying? That just adds more and more power. Because knowledge is power. So the more and more you learn about this entity, and you align it with yourself, the more you empower yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Or you could go about it the way about reading a book, doing that or whatever. And when I say about reading a book, I'm talking about go about it systematically. Go get initiated, go join a group, do all that or whatever. And they already got a system that works for you. But you got to follow the rules. See, we got it fucked up. We think we can just deal with spirituality or anything how we want to deal with it because we think we know something, right? But you got to follow the rules, point blank period, and don't tell me I'm wrong because you follow the law. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, but that's different. How is it different if spirituality is real? And everything everything in this world is an illusion. If spirituality is the real, the ultimate real is going to get us up out of here or whatever, why would we follow the law? The law and everything else is associated with the archons. They say we don't got to follow that because they play on your moralistic values, something that you're supposed to get from home. You ain't supposed to get taught that from the world. So they taught you, well, this is wrong, that's wrong, but how do you feel in your heart? This is why I tell you to have an authentic approach to everything. Somebody else told you how to feel. How your mama tell you how to feel if you had a mama that wasn't indoctrinated? Because it comes from the mama. Sorry, it's the world we live in. Some of us did have that father household. They probably not even here though, and that's a great thing. Some of us ain't. but it came from the OG. Because the woman, the female, the goddess, she has the mitochondrial gene. This is what gives us information. Preconception and beyond conception. Why am I saying this? When the male and the female is about to have a baby and he does what he does with his little soldiers, they swimming. And it's a tail on the back of that cell. That cell is called mitochondria from the male, right? The egg of the woman, right, sends out a beacon of light, and the strongest cell picks up that beacon of light, and the mitochondria get to swimming even faster. Next thing you know, it hits the egg, and as soon as it hits the egg, it goes inside or whatever, and the mitochondria is cut off. Then these dead cells give themselves up. They sacrifice themselves up for the life of you. It's still yourself, but it's another version of yourself. A primal version, let's just say that. But it's sacrificing itself for this earthly incarnation. You feel what I'm saying? And all inside of the egg, as it's forming, it starts to look like a cross as well. You know what I'm talking about once the embryo starts to break up and everything like that. The crucifixion, the resurrection, and all this stuff. You're rising up. So what I'm saying is, though, the mitochondria and DNA is only given from the mother. Ours is cut off. We get information from her. She's been talking to us. She's been talking to us via the womb, her mind, dreams, thoughts, all of that. We can hear her thoughts when we're in the womb. That's why she's always supposed to be thinking about the baby in a positive way, thinking about positive things. You feel what I'm saying? Also, every month of the pregnancy, she's supposed to be thinking about every single different zodiac, so the baby can be associated with every single zodiac. All the knowledge that the mother knows, like at the time of her getting pregnant or whatever, the baby is gonna know. You feel what I'm saying? When the baby comes out. So if you traumatized, the baby gonna come out with that trauma as well. It might be embedded in them deep somewhere or whatever, but they still gonna possess it some way, somehow. This is why it's important. I'm not just talking out the side of my eyes. I'm finna have another baby. I know these things. You know what I'm saying? I know these things. I pay attention to these things. I'm able to sit back now and experience it and see it firsthand. So now, it goes back again to the balancing of the self. The balancing of the self, and we related closely to this quote unquote source. Everybody be like, I'm in tune with source. I'm what the band. You are source. They talk about the monad, and the monad will represent the one being, the invisible virgin spirit. But there's nothing to see it. There's nothing to hear it. There's nothing to call it by its name. It has no name. There's nothing to comprehend it. This is what they say. And they talk about this monad. The first thing it would do is moving based off emotion and how it felt. It felt like it wanted to move here and do this and do that. It wanted to gaze into itself. And this is how it created the dyad. And out of the dyad, you have a, what is it called? A Vesica Pisces. That fish is the Christ. And it's crazy because when this one and this two come together in Gnosticism, God the Father and Barbella, let's just say the ocean in the image, you have the autogenes, the self-created. Right? But they tell the story as the monad, the dyad, the triad. Okay, now we got quadruplets, all these other extra things, but it's getting into what's the word I'm looking for? Sacred geometry. telling the unfolding of the universe, right? When you think about the holograph, and the word holograph meaning whole writing, and that's everything in the whole holographic universe, upside down. So the as above, so below. The below part being like the little part, like the little parts, the fragments. They tell you that each piece contains information of the whole. So when we talk about this autogenes that self-created itself out of the source, it's a piece of the whole. When you're able to align yourself up correctly, right? Osiris was cut up into 14 different pieces. This is your mind. When you're able to align your mind up correctly, you raise yourself up. You raise yourself back up to the highest point of who you are. You feel what I'm saying? And then, anytime you want to do something, anytime you want to see something, be something, feel something, it just happens. I've experienced this. And I know we've all experienced this. The goal is to try to find a method in a way where we can experience it all the time, and we can do it at will. Something practical. The easiest thing is visualization. Meditation is seeing it. We'd be like, bro, visualization. Yeah, visualization. What do you want? I'm telling you, visualization is easy. That's self-explanatory. Now we got to break down what we actually want, where we really want to see ourselves. So now you got to get down to the uncomfortable questions. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever I believe in, whatever I'm doing, is this really real to me? Is it authentic to me? You feel what I'm saying? Am I doing this because I want to do this, or am I doing this because I feel like this is what I should be doing because everybody else is doing it? Things like that. You feel what I'm saying? Because what we're talking about is actually changing our reality. And if you've been stuck in a cycle for umpteen years or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? You don't want to change your reality into a reality you really don't want to be in for real, because you've been doing it for so long. So it's like continuing a cycle for real, for real. How many years you'll be stuck in that? The objective is to just be able to walk through these doors. You have earlier I talked to you about Legba and him being the crossroads, the doors. Now you have Ochosi. Ochosi is the hunter. You feel what I'm saying? He's like providing the way. You feel what I'm saying? He's not really gonna tell you where to go, whatever, but he provides the way. He ain't gonna tell you where to go because he represents knowing where to go. He's the hunter. Hunters know where to go. They know how to hunt. They hunt it. When you on this path, knowledge of self, you hunt for information. You feel what I'm saying? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding for self, about self, to better self, to balance self, to overcome the fears, the negativities, the low vibrational frequencies of the material universe. I'm trying to tell you. But listen, y'all, I'm finna get up out of here. If anybody want any consultations, any mentorships, numerology readings, you can hit me up. Also, if you want to get this document, I got this document. I got the books in there or whatever. I'm probably gonna revise it too here in the next maybe week or two or whatever. I got a lot more information because we've been talking about it or whatever. So I'm just gonna add that in there too, might as well. But it's a few books that I can't add in there because I got these physical. So I'm gonna add probably like some pictures in there for y'all, whatever, and maybe we can find some. I do got the Set Kim. I can get y'all that. I can't get y'all the ISIS thesis, but I can get y'all that Set Kim and a few other books or whatever that I've been quoting from or whatever. And you know, y'all can find your own perspective. Like I said, that's the goal. You feel what I'm talking about? I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here though, man. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a nice day. What's today is? Today is that day. Y'all have a nice day. What's today is? Today is that day. Y'all enjoy y'all Friday, man. Be safe out there. What they say? As soon as I'm finna get up out of here they come with the what you call it. Should I stay? Should I stay or should I go? Social media, right? Telling people how to feel. Spirituality is a scam for real, just like religion. I don't know how to feel about that. Let me ponder on it. Let me sit on it for a little second. Let me sit on it for a little second, man. Because I feel like you need a hug. I was a 5%er. I ain't believe in God. But yet I said the black man is God and the white man is the devil. I didn't believe in God, but this is what I said, though. Don't that sound like an oxymoron? I started to take the lessons and personalize them for myself and walk away from everything else and everybody else's perspective. That's how I was able to get here. I realized that anything you doing, spiritual or religious, and as a spiritual person or an occultist, I like to break down religion as to buying back. That's what the definition is. So I don't deal with it. But personally, I know individuals who personally deal with it on the level I feel like you should be dealing with it because I see it working for them. And then I see people that do it and it don't work for them. People used to call me an atheist. I wasn't no atheist, but I didn't believe in God, so they used to call me an atheist. But I bring that up because I feel like atheism, a lot of them individuals have father issues, fatherless individuals, because God is an absent father. Spirituality teaches you personally about who you are, not the messenger, right? The messenger is an individual who may relate to you so you can be able to get the knowledge that you need to be able to learn about yourself. A lot of this information will run you away. But if you can hear it in a way that you can understand it and get it from somebody that you can resonate with, you feel what I'm saying? It'll be easy. Everybody, it don't matter who you is. So you probably feel like it's a scam because you probably dealt with somebody that scammed you. I got scammed before, man. It's an experience. I know not to do it again. But spirituality and religion shouldn't be a scam. Because whatever you doing and whatever you dealing with, you should have an impact on your heart, or the information should have an impact on your heart. Why do I say it should have an impact on your heart? Because your heart is connected to your subconscious. It's connected to your soul. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever's inside of your subconscious mind, it forms the reality around you. You know, whatever you're focusing on. So whatever you take in, whatever you're dealing with, it forms the reality around you. So spirituality is a scam. That's the reality around you. That's you forming. And that's about simple as that. Don't come in here getting down on spirituality or religion. I might not be a religious person, but we're not going to be negative. we're not gonna talk about spirituality or religion, because I ain't like how you just did that. You sound like a lonely individual. You feel what I'm saying? Quite lonely. Thank you very much. Religion means to bind. It does. You know what I'm saying? But personally, you have something called esoteric and exoteric. Exoteric is probably why we feel the way we feel about religion. You looking at it face value, right? The messenger in spirituality, I don't like saying the word believe, but I'm just gonna say this for lack of better words. I believe is an individual that can relate to the masses, basically. Not even the masses for real, but the people. Because the masses ain't the people for real, because the masses is controlled by 10%. You feel what I'm saying? But then you have people like priests, preachers. They're authority figures. These are archons. They only giving you their perspective. And I don't even think it's actually theirs, because if we going off a modern understanding of it, a lot of these churches, they have to, it's like school, they have to have a certain curriculum that they go by in teaching. And when I read that, it made sense to me, because I went to church when I was younger, and I know they read the same thing every Sunday. You get what I'm saying? So, but personally, when you personally read these things on your own, it can do something for you when you personalize it. I'm not telling you go read a Quran, go read a Bible, and then when you got something, go let me shed some light on somebody. Let me go knock on somebody's door. Let me go save somebody. That's not what I'm telling you. You're supposed to be able to help yourself. I'm not a religious person though, but I'm open-minded, and I do recognize we live in a dual existence, and I do recognize there's going to be opposites everywhere. That's what dual means. There's going to be opposites. There's going to be disagreements and all these things. So you can still walk away believing that, or understanding that, knowing that, or whatever. I don't want you not to, as a matter of fact. But you said what you said. I want to say what I say. Because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know what you're getting at. You know? Religion scammed me a long time. Because what I was told to believe and how to go about getting things, I guess, or going about, I guess, practicing, it was a scam to me because it didn't work. Spirituality was a scam to me. Certain aspects, certain activities, I guess you can get into. You feel what I'm saying? You know, certain systems and certain things that you can do. I had certain things done, you feel what I'm saying? And I feel like I got scammed. Why do I feel like I got scammed? Because I'm actually spiritual. I'm actually awakened, enlightened. Do that mean like I'm a extraterrestrial being, or I'm arisen? No, because we all have this ability. That's what I read this earlier. That's the goal of the Gnostics. Gnostics, the word Gnostic gnosis, it just means knowledge. You got a spark of light in you, they said, awaken it. That's my goal, and that's what I've done. So how do I realize I got scammed? Because I saw the scam before it happened. And I go back, I do my little research. I'm like, dang, you feel what I'm saying? Certain people, this is why I don't promote readings and things like that. This is why I don't give readings. And I can, but I don't give them at all. But I don't promote them. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not talking about I don't promote them for me. I don't recommend you get them at all. Fuck it. I done got scammed. A person will be powerful, will be tapped into these spirits because, like I said earlier, when you deal with the systematic approach, because it's been, what's the word I'm looking for? because it's been around for a long time and people been dealing with it or whatever. It can't work. Or yesterday, this was yesterday, last night. Egregore. Egregore is a thought form. It's created by a collective group of people having a common interest or idea. You feel what I'm saying? But remember, the subconscious mind creates the reality around you. So if they create this egregore, it starts to have power for them. This is what these quote unquote gods and goddesses will be inside these systems, basically. When you go about it, you got to go about it the way what's that word? The way it was created and the way it was made. When you go about it in that approach, I'm not telling you to do that. That starts to bind you back, bind your power back. You feel what I'm saying? So, anyways, going back to when I know I got scammed or whatever, person just was telling me certain things or whatever that I just wasn't feeling right about. But this is the thing. This you have to go off of how you actually feel. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? And you gotta watch how you talk to these people. Because if you say the wrong thing or whatever, they might try to put certain things on you or whatever to cause certain things to go wrong in your life. You feel what I'm saying? And if your mind is not strong, all you're gonna do is empower it. Because essentially all they're doing is placing an idea in your head. That's it. They placing an idea in your head with the hope that you don't have the knowledge or the awareness to block it. If you don't have the knowledge or the awareness to block it, then it starts to fester and it starts to progress. Next thing you know, you come back like, what's you was right. You know what I'm saying? What do I need to do? Well, I have this cleanse. It costs about $670. You know what I'm saying? Now I didn't get scammed like that, but this is what they tell you. It costs about $670, or I do have this other one for about $1,000. But I think you should get the one for about $670. You feel what I'm saying? Or whatever. But it be about that much money. You feel what I'm talking about? They be doing all that. Come get this or whatever. But then you got to come here and get these camels and buy all this and buy all this, and it's just more and more things they placing on you and placing on you. Next thing you know, they like, all right, look, well, none of this is working. You gotta, you gotta get initiated. Do you know who your spirit is? You be like, no, I don't know who my spirit guide is. None of this, whatever. But what they're doing is, and they're initiating you into their thing, and you don't even have no knowledge of this or whatever. So you're not even really gonna be going along with it like that in that capacity. But as you basically get initiated, you really swearing yourself over to this shit. You feel what I'm saying? So now as you doing this or whatever, things is gonna continue to get worse and worse. You going back to this person, whatever. They got you now. They got your hair. They got your DNA in a bottle. I'm talking about in a spot. If you wanted to move, you couldn't move. I'm trying to tell you. You feel what I'm saying? Now, this don't happen all the time, but this does happen. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just say it like that. Don't think this the movies. This ain't the movies. This ain't what they do in the movies. This what they do. Go and read the book. What do you call that? Serpent in the Rainbow, and go watch the movie. You feel what I'm saying? You'd be like, oh, but that's just the movie in the book. That happened in real life. It's documented. The dude in the movie Serpent in the Rainbow, he was going to Harvard University. I think he was not going there. He was working there like a professor. His colleagues was like, hey man, they got this concoction down there in Haiti where they bringing you right back when you leave this place. You feel what I'm saying? He like, oh, I don't believe that. You feel what I'm talking about? So like, well, go down there. So they go down there. You go down there. They see a person that they calling them zombies. This is so you guys know this is where the first concept of the zombie come from. A zombie is not something that's biting on you and no shit like that or whatever. This is where zombies come from. A zombie is a psychological, basically it's a psychological thing. Basically, it's a mental slave. This is a zombie, but this come from Haiti though. So, anyways, sent Buddy down there, whatever. Man, this movie raw. Sent Buddy down there, and he met this one lady or whatever, but she didn't look like she was a zombie. They was looking for this man for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? But it was a secret police that was out there. Now it's crazy because if you remember, I forgot his name, man. I don't want to say Papa Doc, but the president that was out there that had won over Haiti. You feel what I'm saying? Over the French, like later on. You feel what I'm saying? But then he started using voodoo against the people or whatever. He was utilizing the moniker of basically Papa Legba. That's how he used to wear the hat, the glasses, all that stuff. I forgot his name, but if anybody knows his name, y'all know his name. But I feel like the head of the police was basically him in there. So, anyways, he has so many different vials of people's basically spirits. You feel what I'm saying? Trapped. You feel what I'm talking about? He was utilizing these people to go inside of people's dreams and all types of other stuff. And this he was popping up in Buddy's dreams or whatever. But this is the concoction. They take some bones and all, I don't know everything, but they take like some bones and some, some other little stuff or whatever, like some dirt from the graveyard or whatever. They take some venom or whatever and they dry it out from this fish. And when they blow it in your face, it passes you out or whatever. But in the western hemisphere or whatever, they won't be able to tell if you're dead or alive or not. I'm talking about they can poke you in the eye with a needle, with your physical eye with a needle. You can feel it, but you can't even cry. So what they was doing was burying people or whatever, and then the babalaos or whatever, and I don't know what to call them in Haiti or whatever, was going back and digging them up, and it was what do you call that? They was making them slaves or whatever. You know what I'm saying? One story, this person had 150 slaves. You feel what I'm saying? So you can look up this zombie voodoo document on YouTube or whatever. It'll pop up, and the guy from Serpent in the Rainbow that wrote it, that the movie was about, he would talk about it. That's how I know it was a book. I didn't know it was a book at first. I just thought it was a movie. I'm like, oh, this is a good movie. You feel what I'm saying? But the whole time, that shit was going on in there. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, see, stop playing. That shit was going on. But look, so anyways, this shit real. They blew that shit in his face because he was going down there to try to find it. In Haiti, we not playing no games. You know I love Haiti. We not playing no games out there. You feel what I'm saying? Now I got Cuban descent, so they're my Caribbean brothers and sisters. We not playing no games out there. Dude went out there to try to steal their knowledge. And that police officer, even though they made him a villain and all that stuff, I can't tell you. Listen, I can't tell Haiti how to move on their land. Dude was moving how he was moving, but Buddy came over there from here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to steal that information or whatever. He made it all the way back to America. He still was cursed. Shit was still happening in the physical. I'm talking about shit popping up, dude popping up in his dreams, all type of shit. So basically, I don't know, but they had his energy, you know what I'm saying, trapped inside the little ball or whatever. Anybody that deals with this stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah, man, this shit real. This shit really real. It's 4-5 different ways you can go about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you to deal with yourself. See, I want to check the book out. Now you making me want to check the book out for real. Because the movie itself was just busting. Like, you wouldn't even think, but it's older, so that's why. But, man, watching that, I'm like, damn. And I'm just watching it like, yeah, this is everything I'm into. Not knowing that it really happened for real. I'm just watching a document a few years ago, like the little video, docu-series, however you want to call it. And the dude just happened to pop up. And I seen Serpent in the Rainbow. You know how the authors come up in the when the authors pop up or whatever and they talking, they get an interview, they little accomplishments that popped up. It said author of Serpent in the Rainbow. And he was like, yeah, man, I didn't know that when Harvard sent me down from Haiti, that it was gonna cost me 4 years of my life. So the movie just show you, so I ain't read the book, so you probably read the book, it probably do tell you this. But the movie just show you just the movie. You know what I'm saying? It may have been a few days. But dude said 4 years. He trapped in Haiti for 4 years. Stop playing, boy. Stop playing, boy. You trying to go down there and steal that information. I'm surprised to hear you know. What are you talking about? Why are you surprised? That's a part of our history. Come on, man. That's a part of our history, man. That's a part of our history, like Queen Nanny and the Maroons. And what she was doing. Fucking them out. You feel what I'm saying? I'll be studying a little bit, man. It's what do you call that? It pays to learn about your history. You feel what I'm saying? The ancestors reward you. Oh yeah, man, I am. I am young, man, but I'm young in the physical, but I'm old, bro. I'm old. I'm old. I listen to '70s music, man. I listen to BB King and shit like that. Not all the time, but all the time. You know what I'm saying? Al Green and shit. So I'm young, but I'm what you call it. Like my son, I just had a son. He finna be 9 months in a few days, right? When he going crazy, he acting up. I turn on Al Green, I sing Al Green to him. I'm the parent that sing. You feel what I'm saying? Hold my little dude, be singing to him, whatever. Now if I turn on Al Green, all he do is smile. He don't even, who is that? You don't even know who that is. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, man. It pays, man. It pays. It pays to have this knowledge or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Now don't get me wrong, I still listen to the music of the day. I used to rap like that before it became popular for real, for real. My stepdad told me, don't nobody want to hear no little kid rapping like that or whatever. He used to record me. And then, so when I was locked up for a little second, I learned how to rap without cussing and all that stuff. And, it was like a positive approach. I'm locked up. I'm starting to hear all these little kids rapping about the stuff that I was talking about and doing in the street. I'm damn. I would have been famous. I wouldn't even been in here. But that wasn't my purpose. My purpose was to be doing this right now. Because while I was locked up, I learned about myself. I definitely went back, but I only went back for like 2 years. I was out for like 6 months, but I was still young. I was like 18, I think. Yeah, I was 18. So still young or whatever. And that sat me down for like 2 years. And I really learned about myself. I still didn't learn anything, but I got enough. It was like a push. You know what I'm saying? And when I came home, I had a different mindset. Because all while I was in jail, people be like, "Oh man, you can't stop gang banging." I can't what? See, I'm from Illinois, and I do what I want to do. You feel what I'm talking about? You got to do what you got to do to me. You feel what I'm saying? That's the thing. Now that don't mean I'm tough, but that just means, hey man, if it's my time, it's my time. So when I was in jail, I wasn't gang banging. Gang banging to me is what do you call that? Being down with the bullshit. I'm not being down with the bullshit. Y'all being down with the bullshit. Because when I first came to the prison, when I was young, I'm thinking this what it was. But I learned this what it wasn't. And people try to manipulate you. So earlier, somebody was like, man, Joe, religion, and it's a scam and all that shit. That shit was a scam. You feel what I'm saying? Because what gangbanging was initially was organization. You feel what I'm saying? What do you call that shit? Structure and all these things or whatever. Helping out the community and society and all these motherfucking things. You feel what I'm talking about? But that shit was a scam. I go to prison or whatever. They like, oh man, they be trying to get stuff up out of you. So when I went back, I really utilized that time and sat down and I put some meat on my brain. You feel what I'm saying? I was reading a lot. I was taking care of my body. I was trying to eat right. You feel what I'm saying? I was just trying to stay out the bullshit. And I kept that mentality when I came to the world or whatever. And I think what also helped was because I'm from Illinois, but now I live in Charlotte. I don't like Charlotte though, because I just don't like it. But I'm here and I'm not in the bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Like I could be back home in some shit or whatever. But I'm here now. I'm trying to make a difference, I guess. You feel what I'm saying? And the what I'm utilizing is spirituality. And I think it works for me. You know what I'm saying? Like truly work. I used to try to be a Christian. You feel what I'm saying? Like, bro, I I put my heart in everything I do. So I used to try to be a Christian. It wasn't working for me. And I used to think I was really real with that shit. I can't. What? Yeah, man. Um, I used to really try to be that, bro. Just like when I was a 5%er, I used to think I couldn't talk to a white person. What? You the devil. I can't even talk to you. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't got no melanin. But everybody do got melanin. Now they talk about, well, black people, we got neuromelanin. White people, y'all got melanin. So that's different. But that's false. That's false information when you say that. Everybody has neuromelanin, or you fucking wouldn't be living right now. You feel what I'm saying? You have to have it inside of your brain. It's the melanin on your neurons. Okay? Not everybody has the same type of melanin. As a quote unquote black person, we have something called eumelanin, which was responsible for the dark hue pigment. And I don't even want to say white people, whatever you want to call yourselves or whatever, they supposed to have pheomelanin. This is responsible for pale skin, pink skin, red hair, yellow. You feel what I'm saying? Things of that nature. It's still melanin. It's pheomelanin, eumelanin, neuromelanin. You have something called allomelanin, which is the pigment that's found on bacteria. It's a lot of different forms of melanin. People not studying. So I was a 5%er. I couldn't talk to nobody. Like, you had to be melanated, man. You had to be black. You had to be this. You had to be that. I was stuck somewhere. I couldn't learn something. I wouldn't been able to learn nothing from no Greek mythology, nothing from here, nothing from there. That's not what it's about, bro. It's about the spark of light that's inside of you. The spark of light don't got no color on it at all. It can take on colors. It can take on shapes, right? It takes on shapes in the form of humanity, colors in the form of humanity. That don't mean that it's actually you. So why get bent up about any of this shit? That's the thing. I was lost for a little second. I ain't gonna lie to you. What he say? Water. Who say that? Bruce Lee. Water. Become like water. No, that's real shit. What Bobby Hemming say? If you take the water out the ocean and put it in a cup, it's not the same contents in the water, the same as the contents of the ocean. That's the same thing as the holographic theory. Everybody a piece of this little hole. What you doing with your piece? And you go inside of yourself, and that little piece that you say that you possess, or they say that we possess, contains all the information. What you doing with it? See, what you have access to and what you accessing right now, they say is about 2 to 3%. What you see is about 2 to 3%. We got a list, or not a list, but a library of junk DNA, what they call. When we tapping into all these different spiritual energy signatures, these concepts, these metaphors, these meta symbols, meditations, astral projecting, lucid dreaming, all these things to align who we are on different multiple scales of consciousness. When we do these things, right, we become whole. Like 360 always say, you become the perfect being because you can exist anywhere, everywhere, all at once with a conscious mind. This is chaos. It's the chaos sphere where you can change at will, evolve, evolution. This the goal here. I didn't stay here for a long ass time more, and I wasn't even trying to do that. Why? How did that even happen? I am all, and all is me. That's absolutely right. Balance. That's absolutely right. No, man, y'all talking that. Y'all talking that. You say, so what do I practice? I practice a bit of everything, bro. A bit of everything. But on a personal level, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get into details, but I do practice ancestral veneration. Give me a little altar, pour out libations to my ancestors, speak with my ancestors. I have a few ancestors that walk with me. I used to always feel this presence. I still feel the presence, but I'm just saying, I used to always feel this presence, and I never knew what it was, but it used to be unsettling, And then I started to pay attention. You know, in meditations, I meditate with people in the room and I feel them in the room. And so I started associating that feeling with just the presence of a person. You know what I'm saying? So when I started meditating by myself, I still feel that presence. I'm like, damn, what's going on? So I had a friend I used to deal with, and she had a niece that was she was in the EFI or whatever, and she was like a seer, and she like, send me a picture of you. I sent her a picture of myself. She was like, it's a man standing with you. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm thinking she's just saying, but she was telling me that. So I'm thinking like, man, what is she talking about or whatever, right? So I'm like as I'm thinking about it, like a thought just come across my mind, like it's your granddad. So when I finally meet this person in person, I show her a picture of my granddad. He passed away in 2005, I think. She like, oh yeah, that's him. Like that's who I seen. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit. So I know I got spirits that's going with me. I've been feeling it or whatever. You feel what I'm talking about? Just paying homage to my ancestors or whatever. When you do this, you invoke power inside of yourself. They tell you that the ancestors go back and live inside of you. I say that because in the Ifa culture, you got something called your Egun. Egun or Egungun is a cult, like a priest cult for the ancestors. You feel what I'm saying? But Egun, the word Egun is a word for bone. And your blood is created inside of your bone marrow. So your blood also is your bloodline relatives, your lineage, your ancestors or whatever. So when you tapping into this aspect, also it's behind your neck, right where your medulla oblongata is. When you tapping into this, you feel what I'm saying? You tapping into your ancestors. It could be a shadow aspect of your ancestors too that's just trying to get back to their actual source. You feel what I'm saying? So, we can help the ancestors out that way as well. But it's also, in doing that, it helps out aspects of you. I do that. I meditate, affirmations, and I study. You know what I'm saying? And then whatever else I'm needing. To me, knowledge isn't like absolute. So it is certain things that I do, um, like that's like that would be like my practice. I would just say, I guess, is absolute. You feel what I'm saying? That I would do on a daily or all the time, whatever. And it is some things that I just experiment with as well. You feel what I'm saying? Because not everything works for you. That's a bet. That's a bet. Yeah, man. That's all we got to do, man. I told somebody that shit one time. Somebody asked me that same question. Um, and he was like, so you do voodoo? What, dude? Wo- Um, um, tapping into your ancestors don't have to mean voodoo. And voodoo don't have to mean tapping into your ancestors. And when he said voodoo, the face he had was a face like, ugh, nigga, you do evil shit. You feel what I'm saying? But he's supposed to be a part of the Moorish Science Temple. So I'm assuming these people are gonna be like kind of like righteous a little bit. You never know who you talking to. So yeah, that's why somebody literally just asked me that question. You feel what I'm saying? Not too long ago, and it's just, what you mean, bro? No, man. I do know about voodoo. I have dealt with it, or whatever. But ancestors, I'm tapping into my ancestors all the time. Not just, ooh, the ancestors. No, I'm talking about specific ancestors. You gotta write it. I ain't gonna say you have to write, but I do. You feel what I'm saying? I write down the names of my ancestors, every last one of them. And I ask all my family members about the name. Because there's certain ancestors that you don't know, that you can get to know. You tap into. The more and more you um, learn about them, learn what they like, the music that they like, certain foods that they like, learn about them and things that they dealt with or whatever. You learn about that. You venerating that spirit and you building a sympathetic link. Next thing you know, you having a dream and you seeing a person that you know but you don't know. And it be your ancestor. You feel what I'm saying? What video you was watching? Yeah. Chilling now, y'all. Dang, bro. Where my little thing go? We really just chilling now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm freezing. Finna get up out of here. Oh yeah. That Kundalini ain't nothing to play with, man. That Kundalini ain't nothing to play with. I got this Kundalini yoga book. It's so detailed. I think it's Western Kundalini yoga, but that shit ain't nothing to play with. I ain't finna lie to you. They got techniques where you just activate it instantaneously, and they got techniques where you just take it slowly. I always recommend taking it slowly because they tell you it's a fire. This fire is going to illuminate every last chakra that you got right away, whether it's unbalanced or not. Think about how detrimental that can be if you're not truly balanced. You know what I'm saying? Too much of anything can be bad, basically. Let's just say we know this. So we got to take it a step at a time. We got to become familiar and intimate with the energy. Like, I always felt that presence of somebody around me or whatever. I just never knew what that presence was until I became intimate with it. Started to become aware of it. Now I can feel it everywhere I go. And then, right, it's almost like when you go inside of a room full of people, period, like a big ass room full of people, you can feel all that energy, right? Once you become familiar with that, you can start to feel it all the time when it's present, and you can bring it about. So it's almost like summoning the spirits. I have a theory that the hidden hand is also called black. Let's talk about that. The hidden hand, you talking about the like the elite? No, look, right? I've been looking into some stuff like that. I think if you talking about what I'm talking about, you feel what I'm saying? Cause that go back to like the Boule and 10%. It's an old ass movie that I watched. It's not old as hell, but it's like a kids movie. But it's not a kids movie. It's on Adult Swim. It's called Freaknik. And they had these people in there called the Boule. And they had 10% on them. Deep doing it in the building? Hold on. Hold on, cuz. No, cuz look, right? Remember earlier I was telling you about those pre-dynastic Egyptians, and everybody talk about Egypt and how Egypt is the shit or whatever, but these pre-dynastic Egyptians, they had a different set of power. They had a different understanding. You feel what I'm talking about? They was dealing with Set, and Set was the supreme being at the time, meaning the supreme energy that you dealt with, and Set is in everything. These individuals founded what you call Rome, Etrustia, the Trojan Empire, all of that shit or whatever, right? And in later day, this is where the Greek philosophy and all these other things come from. But bro just said the black hand. When I looked up the black nobility, there was aristocrats. They was Roman aristocrats families. You feel what I'm saying? And the Romans, the first Romans were the Etruscans, the pre-dynastic Egyptians. I've been kind of like studying in on this a little bit or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. Just a tad bit. I feel like it has some type of connection or whatever. Also, I find it crazy because look, right? Everybody talk about like, what do you call that? They always be talking about how like we Moors, we this, we that, we gotta go here. And just like that dude was trying to demonize me, and he was a part of the Moorish Science Temple or whatever, you feel what I'm saying? Morocco. If you watch the new John Wick movie, when he went to the what is it called? When he went to the high table at the underworld, he went to Morocco. He went to Fez City, the capital. I don't know, bro. I think it's some stuff going on there. I think it's some connections. You feel what I'm saying? I think it's some connections, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Where my water at? Well, y'all finna give me, don't what you call, don't get me up here going crazy. But yeah, I think personally that the Black Hand, the elite, the Black Hand though, and no, it's crazy that you said Black Hand, right? All right, look, right? I ain't finna tell you that, but look, you said the Black Hand. When I used to study the La Cosa Nostra, which means this thing of ours, that's the American Mafia. The American Mafia was formed by way of immigrants from Italy, Sicily, and all that. They used to call themselves the Black Hand. And I just said they come from Sicily, Italy, and all that or whatever. That's Rome. Who founded Rome? The black nobility. The Roman families, man. These were the original Roman families. And you would think they got, I guess, you know what I'm saying, tucking out or whatever. But it's all a game. Because if you look up Roman mythology, Greek mythology, and Etruscan mythology, it's all the same thing. Look up an Etruscan warrior. He looks the same as a Roman warrior. And as a matter of fact, he looks like both a Roman and a Greek warrior put together. Look up an Etruscan warrior and a Roman warrior and a Greek warrior. Man, listen, bro. We ain't finna go that far, bro. We ain't finna go that far. Bro, on to something. Bro really on to something. Who is you? Why you come up here and ask me that? You gotta know me from somewhere or something like that. You feel what I'm saying? Cause that was just, people don't even just come up here and ask them type of questions. But that was a good one though. Nah, bro, nah, because the receipts all the way there. I will, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go and get some. I'm just gonna post them up. You feel what I'm saying? We just gonna see what happens. But the receipts are there. I got a video that talks about the boule. And that was like maybe a year ago or two or something. I don't know, because I don't know how long I've been on TikTok. But I'm talking about the boule. And I got the picture of y'all the broth up there. You feel what I'm saying? It's the same picture or the same tattoo that, what's his name? LeBron James got on his chest. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm talking about how all these people associated with it, as well as how the boule call themselves archons. So I was on to something then, but excuse me, I didn't even associate it with all of this stuff yet. You feel what I'm saying? Like with the false spirits and all that shit or whatever. Because Bobby Hemming used to talk about that, but he was talking about artificial spirit. I'm like, bro, I don't know. You feel me? Because like I said, that's Bobby. So I'm like, shit, like I'm still questioning because I don't know. I got to study for myself. And years later, I found it on my own. Not even trying to find it. It's right there. But these have an association to these different groups. You feel what I'm saying? And these different secret societies and systems or whatever. They also have, I was reading the 13 satanic bloodlines of the Illuminati or whatever. That one a good one. But we ain't gonna talk about that. I'm just gonna get some pictures and snap them up and just drop them. We ain't even gonna talk about that. Yeah, bro, yeah. A lot of this stuff is masonry, though. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff is masonry. It just, they have different occult backgrounds. You feel what I'm saying? Because people, that's why they scare you away from masonry, for you not to learn it. You're supposed to learn masonry. I'm not telling you to become a mason. You're supposed to learn it. When you learn something, then the magic cannot be done on you. You feel what I'm saying? But you have a lot of different Masonic temples, and you have a lot of different secret societies, and you have just a lot of different orders that's going around, a lot of different secret groups going around. And a lot of these things are based on Masonic teachings, but they come from different occult backgrounds. You feel what I'm saying? So they have a different understanding or a different approach as to how they do it, but it's still Masonic in its own right. You get what I'm saying? That's the order of it. The structure that they give. You feel what I'm saying? So they create a Masonic system or whatever, utilizing the signs and symbols of Masonry. You feel what I'm saying? And they just put their own spill on it. But a lot of times these systems or whatever gain a lot of influence over the minds and the situations within society or whatever. So it scares people from trying to deal with it or whatever when they need to be learning what's going on, so that when they peep game, when the signs and symbols is in their face, they be like, oh, I know what that is. They can't get you. You feel what I'm saying? You say, I am all. No, that's facts. But this for the ones that ain't heard it yet. This for the ones in the back still. That's still just waking up. You know, everybody don't wake up at the same time. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. It's some people that's just now tuning in. Just now tuning in. I'm supposed to been got up off here 2-3 hours ago. Hey, it's crazy because at 8:00 something, I said, yeah, man, I'm finna go and get up off here. I look up, it's 9:31. Where'd the time go? Nah, bro, like that's why I said what I said. The devil's supposed to be the one that mastered the earth or the hell, and this is where we at. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just your humanity. So when you become that, you master your humanity. I'm not looking at it as a good or a bad thing. I'm just looking at it as a principle to be able to maneuver and to have my actual experience. Hold on, let me go to my document real quick since I'm still here. Since I'm still here, that heat feels so good because I was just freezing. I ain't gonna lie to you. Why that's always doing that? Antimonian. It says in some Christian belief systems, an antimonian is one who takes the principle of salvation by faith and divine grace to the point of asserting that the saved are not bound to follow the moral law contained in the 10 Commandments. Antimonians believe that faith alone guarantees eternity or eternal security in the heavens, regardless of one's actions. Antimonian has been considered to teach that believers have a license to sin. You have a license to sin, but what is actually sin? Sin is an experience. Why is sin an experience? Because they tell you, when you hold on, let me just go ahead and let me get the book. I'm gonna just read it verbatim. Fuck it. Where is that? No nigga lose everything. Oh, and I go right to the page. There is nothing wrong with being greedy, as it only means that he wants more than he already has. Envy means to look with favor upon the possessions of others and to be desirous of obtaining similar things for oneself. Envy and greed are motivating forces of ambition, and without ambition, little of any importance will be accomplished. Gluttony is simply eating more than what you need to keep yourself alive. When you have overeaten to the point of obesity, pride will motivate you. Well, another sin, pride, will motivate you to regain an appearance that will renew your self-respect. All of these things are experiences, but these things are sin. These are the 7 deadliest, but they're just experiences, right? So watch this. What's another experience that we all have when we're young and we getting older? We learn how to drive. We learn how to ride a bike. But driving is important. You got to get your permit. You got to get your license. You have to get a license to drive. Right? But these things, right? Excuse me. Before you get your license, they tell you got to get your permit. Or if you don't go about it that route, your mom probably taught you how to drive. Your dad probably taught you how to drive. Just put you in a car and just had you driving. Or just taught you how to drive, depending on what area you grew up in. You had to have the experience first. You feel what I'm saying? Before you quote unquote got your license. But you already have it. You already have it. The experience itself is the quote-unquote sin. Why? They tell you you was born in sin. So just by merely being born, you ain't even supposed to have no experiences, they telling you. You supposed to just be what? Energy. That's all you is. You pure potential. Hold on. Wrong picture. Wrong picture. Y'all see that pure potential in there? That's what you is. The perfect man, the perfect human, the devil. Right? Master your humanity and yourself. Don't allow nobody to tell you what you can and what you can't do, where you can and where you can't go. How you supposed to feel. What you supposed to feel. Don't let nobody tell you that. You know what I'm saying? The objective is to find one's own ideas. A person gonna get up here, right, and tell you, oh man, you gotta go read this book. God is the way. And this, that, and the third or whatever, right? Somebody came here and said something like social media, all this stuff. I don't know if they were saying that it was me or not. But if you've been listening to my video, I'm telling you to gain your own perspective, your own idea. But the same individual, they don't hear that. They don't come here and tell you what? Go and read that book. But you don't know how to read that book. I know you don't. Ain't nobody reading it in Hebrew. And then we got to read it backwards. We read it in English from another person's perspective. If you like what I say, what that person says or whatever, you be like, what's the book you got it from? If they ain't gave it to you. And then when you get the book, you get your own perspective. You can go and cross-reference whatever it is they say to know if this valid or not. That's neither here nor there. You already resonated. Go and find your own perspective. You wasting time. That's what I'm getting at. You want to go and confirm what this person said so we can build on it? No, we supposed to be building ourselves from within. Y'all the ball created these bodies for what? To make the world, to give the world light. Your subconscious mind produces reality around you. That's the light around us. Reality, the illusion. What we call illusion, what we call this reality or whatever, is an illusion. But it's coming out of our subconscious mind. It's a dream in a series. Well, reality is a series of dreams. Shit, my eye itchy. If 85% of the world is not activated, they haven't awakened that spark of light that's inside of them or whatever, and that means they're possessed and programmed with the false light, a false narrative, right? That's the program and the simulation that we're gonna be living in. We living in it right now. You gotta change your own reality, man. You ain't gonna never be able to change the world for real, for real. Who you thought you was? The Savior? The Savior don't come out here and do stuff like that. That's crazy. The Savior just give information. The Savior is not the Savior. The Savior is revealer. Savior is save yourself. That's the supreme alphabet. The 19th letter in the supreme alphabet. It's S. Save yourself. That's the auto genes. That's the one that already knows. That's you. How come you already knew already? That's something that really can't be explained. Almost like saying God is incommunicable. But I just knew it though. Like my gut feeling just told me not to go here. You feel what I'm saying? We don't listen to that all the time though. But the more and more we do, the stronger it becomes. Then you start to realize it's a voice talking to you. Because you're not focusing on the chatter of the world. Remember, we got a lot of frequencies that we're dealing with. From our phone, from our TVs, cars, the world, microwave, anything. All these things are emitting low vibrational frequencies. Go and get you an EMF reader. Or I think that's what it's called. Go and get you one of them things. And just put it on anything in your house. And it's going to show you the low vibration that's popping up, that it's emitting. That's why it's good to have crystals all around. Crystals, high vibrational energy things, feng shui. It's good to have these things or whatever, because think about your environment. This is what I'm telling you. Earlier or yesterday I was talking about with the self-esteem. Solar plexus. People be having difficulties manifesting things in their life or whatever. It's probably the energy around you. That's solar plex energy. That's the fire, that's the will. Trying to tell you, man. But listen, man, y'all be safe. Again, you know I got this grand review. If you want to get it, that's whatever. Like I said, I appreciate everybody else that's supporting or whatever. If you want consultations, hit me up. If you want mentoring, hit me up. If you want numerology readings, hit me up as well. Yes, I probably definitely do a deal if you want the lecture too, like the little document or whatever. I got books in there as well. I also said I was going to be revamping it in a minute, maybe like a week or whatever. I got a lot of stuff I got to put together just to put in there. You know what I'm saying? Make a little part 2 to it. I'm not going to separate it. I'm just going to keep it in there because we all been talking about this. But if you want that, just hit me up again. And then if you want to support this, just, BabaAkil 333 on Cash App. But I'm probably finna slide up out of here for real because I got to work out still. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm tired right now, but I'm finna just work through it. Got to take my little vitamins, my little Shilajit. Just go crazy. Hopefully I can get some more Shilajit and it's gonna be good, because I've been seeing too many videos on Shilajit now and they done made it popular. I might get a bogus batch this time. I don't know. I hope I don't.